What's the purpose of Catholicism? The purpose of Catholicism is to trick and emotionally manipulate the slave out of committing suicide and terminating pregnancies. Catholicism is dominant in the third world, in places where babies are had by the dozens, so to speak. These are places where blacks and quote-unquote Hispanics just pump out babies like there's no tomorrow regularly. Like that's what they do. That's pretty much all they do. So to pedivores, pedophiles, and cannibals, and all the rest of the freaks that are in high places and that planned things this way, that planned and designed this whole structure of Catholicism in the third world, knew that this would work. You know, if you can scare the slave out of killing itself, then you would always have that commodity. You'd never have to worry about it. Something like religion, a form of MK Ultra, religion also being something that targets the heart chakra. It's melanged in with spirituality, which are two different things, spirituality and religion. But their psychologists developed a way, or figured out, that's the key to controlling the masses. I know a lot of you have heard this before, that religion was engineered to control the masses, and it was. They have elements of spirituality in religion. They also have elements in hidden history within religious doctrine. Okay, that hidden history has a lot to do with the repeat of cataclysmic events that turn over or reset civilization, which has happened scores of times here throughout the time span that this place has been engineered and managed and has been producing the commodities of humans and energy producing beings that source something. Something is feeding, some parasitic order is feeding off of the energetics that humans and animals and the fauna emit. Okay? And we all feed off of energy to some extent. Just, think about what that is and you'll figure it out, you'll come up with something, some people like, running to fights because they like the energy that is emitted from that kind of situation. Some people like going to parties because they like being around people who are, happy and celebratory. That is a succubus type of, quote unquote, succubus. That is an energy that is something you thrive on, right? So it's a parasitic type of, or succubus type of a correlationship there where, you like to be around certain things and certain people based on the energy frequency. And so that's, we have a multitude of different quote unquote life forms or energies that feed off of energy here because the planet is run in such a toxic and dark and sinister way. I think it's safe to guess that those that are feeding off of energy are toxic, dark, and evil. It just kind of makes sense. So again, religion was quite instrumental in herding the cattle and also producing commodities. Now, I don't know if some of you have heard the rumors about children being used in live hunts. There's a young white girl in the Netherlands, who gave an interview, I think it was back in the 70s, about these pedophiles, and how these rich people would have these kids brought to these private estates, and they would be hunted like animals on these estates by grown men. They'd be released on the premises of this estate and told to run for their lives, and then there would be people with guns getting a thrill out of killing children. Well, where are they getting the children? They're getting the children from the third world, and likely these children are coming from countries where Catholicism is dominant. When you have people that aren't educated properly on reproduction, even if they are, there still tends to be a bit of recklessness. But you have people that are maleducated, you have people that are poor, creating deeper and more tragic cycles of poverty by bringing in children that they can't care for or offer a future to. And the morale that is then created is one of hopelessness and carelessness. Children then tend to be, sold off, prostituted off. You see that a lot in Southeast Asia. You're seeing it in places in Africa, particularly Morocco, because after that tsunami thing hit Southeast Asia, a lot of the perverts and pedophiles started going to Morocco and spreading their diseases there with the young boys, exploiting them there. So that's the purpose of Catholicism and other religions. It's to groom, to groom the natives to be the perfect slave, to be the perfect commodity. That's how it works.